currently we have 51 single-track English schools, and those are basically schools that offer English programming only. We have 22 dual-track schools that offer grade 1 to grade 8 French immersion, they're dual-track, and then we have 7 schools that offer French immersion, but they're typically in other, in middle schools. And we have 6 single-track French immersion schools, which just offer French immersion. And those are schools from grade 1 to grade 8. In Oakville, 17 schools are single-track English, 5 schools are dual-track grade 1 FI, and we have 5 of the 6 offering single-track French immersion in Oakville. As alluded to by the director, we have experienced a significant amount of growth in French immersion at our elementary panel over the last 9 years. Since 2006, French immersion elementary enrollment has increased in the board by about 107%, almost 5,700 students since October 2006 until now. In Oakville, similarly, the FI enrollment in the elementary panel has increased by 103%, from about 2,300 students to 4,675 students. What this chart shows is that since 2006-2007, we've seen from our single-track English schools an uptake increase from SK to grade 1. Some of you are saying, what is an uptake? Well, basically, these are the students that elect to choose to enter into the French immersion program, which in our board starts in grade 1. So from our single-track English schools, we've seen an increase from 21% to 27% in our board since 2006-2007. In dual-track schools, you can see the increase from 51% to 61%, 10% increase in the board overall. And again, it reflects the fact that students that are in single-track English schools tend to be a little bit more selective in terms of entering the French immersion program, but in dual-track schools where they have the option to remain in their school and take French immersion, there's a greater uptake. In Oakville, that range for single-track English schools is 28%, increased from 28% to 39%, kind of following the region or the board's overall increase. And for dual-track schools, which we just started to implement in 2010, 2011, 70% uptake in the first year, up to 74% in this current school year. There is a significant range, as mentioned by the director, in terms of the students that are in these are electing to take a grade 1 FI. In the region, we have certain English track schools where 0% of the SK students elect to attend a French immersion school, up to 82%. The range in Oakville is a low of 16%, which is at Joshua Creek, up to about 77% in Palermo. And what's happened, and as a result, in Palermo Public School, we have approximately this year 12 students in grade 1 FI out of a total of 80 grade 1 students. So there's a significant skew in that program. The other the higher uptake in a dual track school is James W. Hill, which is at 75% uptake this past year, resulting in only 8 students in grade 1 out of a total of 51 students. So as identified, that does cause some issues. Again, as outlined, we have 22 dual-track schools with grade 1 French immersion. And if you look at those 22 schools, overall, 42% of the students are enrolled in the English program from grade 1 to 8, and 54% are in FI. And then there's 4% other students, which could be specialty programs such as gifted. And in Oakville, it's more or less the same. We have about 45% of those dual-track schools that are in the English program, 48% in FI, and the remainder in other programs such as gifted. What does this mean? Well, in the English program overall, we have 13 schools where 40% or less of the total population is in the English program. And in the English program. And in the French program, we have 12 schools that have more than 60% in the French immersion program. Looking at Oakville, we have 2 schools that have less than 40% in the English program, and we have 1 school that is greater than 60% in the French immersion program. But again, that's a function of just the recent introduction of French immersion, dual-track schools in Oakville. This chart more or less reflects, again, the concerns that are being realized in the board, where we have 12 of the 22 dual-track schools in the board, where we have less than 15 grade 1 students in the English program. And that, of course, causes some concerns, as mentioned by the director. So we do have a problem. We've seen a growing amount of students being enrolled in the French immersion program, and we see that continuing to happen, and more having some problems or issues, especially in dual-track schools, as more and more children or parents decide to have their children enrolled in a grade 1 French immersion program.